Monday morning, and I had the day off, so it was a little cold. It was 49 degrees when I woke up. What are we gonna do today? I got three things I really want to accomplish today. Working on the blocks, getting them prepped, but I'm gonna wait till the afternoon for that. Replacing the rear brakes on that would be great, but we're not gonna do that. It'd be nice if this starts. I don't need brakes on the back. They work adequately. So we're gonna work on this. So I think I'm gonna work on this side, and first I'm gonna de-junk all this, get rid of the pipes, then take the valve covers off. Then I think I'm gonna check the wiring first, and then do the glow plugs. Though the glow plugs in any case need to be replaced. Should be in, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a plastic nut. Okay. So we're gonna hop to that. I think I'm gonna take out my scaffold and kind of align it over here so I can sit up there. I was at the dealership waiting for food Friday, and the new Dodges, the hood's this high. I don't know how nobody can work on that standing up. You gotta have a platform. I think that's probably what they want to do. So it'd be nice to be able to start this reliably. This is going swimmingly bad. That took 20 minutes to get out because the hose clamp adhered itself to the pipe, which is weird. It's supposed to be like a silicone pipe. It's this guy. That's weird. Maybe they over-tightened it. I don't know. So that gives me a lot more room to get in there. I think I'm gonna have to take the air cleaner off and the battery thing here, just so I can get in there. I guess I gotta take this shit off next. It should just be this bracket, and yeah, that bracket, and then this can stay on. Yeah, this is silicone. It shouldn't, well, whatever. I did finally get it free by putting the screwdriver down there, running it around the perimeter after I opened it up with this and then spraying it with silicone. But even then, after I got it, I was like totally around the one side. I pulled the thing out, like I could see the end of the pipe. So I put a screwdriver and bent it back against the end of the pipe, so the hose was completely, and it was still stuck on the other side. So we had to yank it. So far that's not working that well. I did lock the wheels, that helps, because when I was pulling the pipe, I was just sliding. There's my little favorite hoses. Yeah, how you doing there, hose? I can see you a lot better now. Probably I should replace the white one too. And wait till it leaks. Oh yeah, anyhow. I don't know why I thought this side would be easier. So I got that bolt off, that one, the two back there. Now there's one way back here, and it's right here. So it's really hard to get to. I need to put a socket on there that's like the exact length. But believe it or not, this is the one I'm fighting with right now. That one right there. Enhance. Why is it so bright? That one, which is directly underneath this intake pipe, which I can't, it's attached, not with hose clamps, but permanent clamps down here. Maybe that's my answers. It says breather, it comes into here and goes into there. And then this pipe is so short, I can't get any distance to pull it off. I got this side freed, kind of. There's a Phillips screw in either end of this breather here, but the other one's underneath there, so that's not coming off right where my finger is. Finger is right there. I guess, is that the answer? Just to cut it off and put a hose clamp on there? I think that's it. Because once I get this off, then I can see that bolt. This has to come out anyhow, because it's attached to here currently. This is just floating. It's a pain in the ass. I haven't figured, oh, maybe if I take that off. I don't even, it's got like this huge connector on there. It doesn't want to pull off. That's weird. Yeah, it doesn't look important. And that's sarcasm. It's got all sorts of shit on there. Okay, let's see if we can take this off, then see if we can break that hose clamp and put on a real hose clamp. Progress. So we got that clamp off, slid this off. We needed to get access to here because that's the wiring harness. I'm enjoying the spare nut down there. Put that in my collection. So now I still can't really get to that one. So I know what I need to do, but so I can't use like a regular socket on there because of the raised lip. See the lip on the back? But maybe I can and just get a partial engagement. I don't know, but at least now I can get my hands in there. This thing came off. It was just that one screw. It's down here. Might need to put some cleaner on that before I put it in there. It looks like it's got a little water in there. Enhance. Maybe not, I don't know. Doesn't look bad, doesn't look perfect either. We should stick our finger in here. Turbo spins nicely. So that's good, and it's just a little bit of leakage. Sometimes those turbo seals go bad and they dump oil, all the turbo. That happened on the Saab 10 years ago. Okay, so just two small little nuts and we'll get that off. This I think I can take off now. I don't know if I want to, but I can. That will get me access to that one bolt, so maybe I will do that. I need the Wilds number 3, shortest number 3. Let's take the oil cooler off. That comes right out. Then we got that last one. So we're going to pop that off. I think I'm down a bolt. I think it fell down there. But worst case, I'll leave that one non-existent. Yeah, we got to get that last one off. I think the combination of one of these 5 pieces will do the job. So we're going to make some room, put a towel over here. You know, lean right in on top. It always feels good to get your breast right, stomach on there. So this at least helps me get up, but it doesn't help. Solution. Turns out the regular deep socket 1/4 inch on the 1/4 inch drive, there's just enough room back there to wiggle. You know, that actually works really well. That seats right in there. You can see the bolts holding it up so well. Okay, so lesson learned. Usually you want like an extension. So I can see right there, just bam, bam, and just use the long extension. In this case, that didn't work for me. Okay, we gotta get this fixture off. I'll put some silicone on or the loosener. I have not taken this side off. You can kind of tell by the fact I didn't know how to take it off. And I don't think there's any way you could take that bolt off without popping that oil cooler off. And there's no way to get that oil cooler off without breaking the hose clamp, which I filed someplace over there in Inkster. Okay, we're off. So, I don't remember. These are the injectors. The glove plugs are down here. These are the white wires. So I guess the next thing to do is pull one of these out. Kind of like that. Put my tester on there and see if we got any power going to it. Should get 12 volts. So remember when we did the coil last week, we're going to do the same test, but this time we're going to test all the way down to there. So that's going to be the coil, the harness inside, which doesn't seem to have fallen off. I'm going to put a 1/4 in there. And down to there. The glow plug is way down there. I haven't really seen it in a while. What does it look like? Where are you? I think that's it. I didn't see it. Does it exist? Oh, it's down there. I don't know, it's somewhere down there. If I pop this thing off, I do not want to take that thing off. I have before, why? I don't remember. Anyhow, we'll get there.
Okay, well this is a bag it all came in. You're just little guys.
I actually bought the Ford ones, and this is what it looks like. What's amusing is it says enhance. Enhance. God damn it, why does it keep moving? Germany. They're made in Germany. So it's a 10 millimeter socket on the top, and then just a lot of threads. It's a steel head and steel here, so that's good. That means, like, if it's aluminum and steel, they tend to weld themselves together. That's the electrical part. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can very gently remove that with a 1/4 inch, so I'm not putting a lot of twisties on this. They're rather pain in the ass to get out if they break. So I haven't tested electricals yet, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. I think you put an ohm reader on this and you can tell right away whether they're good or bad. So yeah, if that one's bad, then we'll just go ahead and do this anyhow, regardless of whether or not we get power there. Enhance. So that's it. That part that you just saw right there. And enhance. Why don't you enhance? See all that oil in there? So I did remember from the one video I watched, you don't want the oil to go down there because that gets in the cylinder. Then it gets in a condition called hydrolock, where you start bending things. This is a high compression engine, so we don't want to do that. Meaning you don't want to have a hydrolock. Okay, that looks like I cleaned most of that out. We're going to give it another blow. It did loosen right up, so I think we're going to be able to get that out very easily with that easy low torque solution there. When we get to tightening things back up, we got to go find the torques. We do not want to over torque this, but yeah, she is. So the good thing is I don't see any rust on there. Lots of carbon buildup. Let's go put the ohm meter on this bad boy. This is just one, but I'm getting acceptable values in the range, but on the low side. On the new one, I'm getting 2 ohms. This is kind of hard to do. I was getting 2 before. And this is so low. I mean, it depends on where you put the reader here. Like I'm moving it here and getting different readings. I don't know. Well, I'm definitely going to put the new ones in because I have them. So I guess I'm back to checking to make sure I have enough. I'm getting juice to the globe. Well, getting weird noises. That's for sure. Something over here. But you know, I just realized I didn't have the thing connected. So this is probably a bad test without the harness connected. We're definitely getting voltage. Got to the glow plug wire over here. That harness looks fine. The engine runs. If that harness falls off like it did on the other side, some of the cylinders stop running. So I'm going to go ahead and change the other glow plugs, call it a day, see if she starts easier. I don't know what else to do. I'm going to do this side, and if it starts a little better, then we'll go the other side. My test will be, you know, will she actually start without hitting the gas, which is what I've been having to do. Apparently I need to be in neutral or something. She doesn't want to start. So that's my test. She starts without having to give it diesel. Injectors are back in on this side. That last one was a pain just because I had delay on everything and I couldn't get the thing out, and it just took a little fighting. Had a little problem with my wrench here. I went to flip the lever and the lever's like flopping. Then I look around and this whole thing was off and that screw was loose and the other one's gone. I don't know what that was. I got it screwed in loosely with the Phillips. I think it's a little tiny Torx. Enhance. Yeah, little tiny Torx. I got some Torx inside that size. That really pissed me off. It's a Titan, which is a fairly good brand. Anyhow, that kind of slowed things up. So I did the quarter trick. So you may remember that harness drives the glow plugs and drives injectors, and it fell off on the other side. So what this does is it prevents the little clip from falling in. The clip right now is kind of loose, so it just keeps the clip up. because the valve cover goes right there, valve cover, it's just gonna, it can't fall up and it won't fall out. So that'll save me $70 and that's fun. So now it's a reverse. I went and cleaned this up a little bit and do some more. I should just take it inside and wash it. My wife always loves it. She looked pretty like I cleaned her in the kitchen sink. Again, mom's the word. She's all back together. Got that sensor on, that sensor on. I clean this up, sprayed it with the anti-corrosion, cleaned the threads on those. Got my pipe litters all tight. Down on that one. This one. Whoop. Except for that one. So we'll go ahead and tight. These are tight. That's tight. That one I did before. That hose is still there. Put the thing back on to retighten this. Feels pretty tight. How was that connector? I think we just start her up. Now, they're better. I should be able to glow plug, run this for a few seconds, and then she should start right up. It's only like 60 degrees. 60 degrees. I'll wait for the light to go out. All right. Yeah, that started with no throttle. She ain't exactly happy. I better check those connectors. Now we're getting injector code failures. I did pull off the last injector cable, and of course I got that one cable. So we're going to see how quickly we can, this. It shouldn't take that long now I know the ins and the outs. Record time 20 minutes. I didn't take any of this off because I didn't need to. But so I think what happened here is when I pulled that injector out, I pulled this off. I know I took that one off, but this one came off. So we're gonna go ahead and plug that back in and check all these. My quarters in there, good. I also lubricated this, but it should be fine. There's no corrosion in there, I just added more goo. But that's definitely, it was unplugged, so great. So let's see how long it takes me to put this back together. Maybe I'm getting better at this, but that was 16 minutes. Oh, wait, I got one more pipe to do. Damn it, the down pipe. That pipe. Okay, well, maybe it is 20 minutes. Got a good assortment of tools out here. It's gonna take a few minutes to put those away and clean them up. The errors are clear. She's running not beautifully, but not rough. So we're gonna go ahead and ohm up the injectors. Of course, the engine was warm when I started it, so my test of not using diesel to start it doesn't really apply here. I gotta wait till it gets cold. Well, all these read at 1 to 2 ohms, which is in spec, so they're still potentially good. Of course, these are only 4 out of the 8, so it's possible that the other side are bad, but everything seems to be okay there. Wasn't expecting time before dinner, so I'm gonna get this motor off. I cleaned that one side off. I managed to get this over here without killing myself, so that was a bonus. I think I can clean it and then flip it over to there and then clean the other side. The other side's not as bad, but still needs to be cleaned. I was able to get the screws out. Somebody put some Phillips concrete screws in with inserts, so I got the 3 out that I found so far. That was a good one. Okay, this box came a little smushed. Right there. Nights, got a little bit of beef, mushrooms, onions, the cheese. Got my timer going. This is my new press. trying out this new griddle on this stove, which gives me a lot of, options. God damn it, that wasn't supposed to happen. Anyhow, I gotta get to this. Today we try to figure out what's causing the truck not starting. I got a bunch of possibilities. One I'm gonna have to deal with anyhow is last time I was underneath there, I noticed that the terminal connectors to the starter were crusty. So I need to clean those. It could be a starter pulling too much current, which we're gonna find out shortly. We're gonna turn the glow plugs on, and we can see that the voltage went down. So that means that they're doing something, and the light's on. We replaced half the the glow plugs, and that didn't make a difference. Now we're gonna crank and see how low the voltage gets. That just started right up. Which is really weird because it didn't do that on Thursday. Well, given the fact it wouldn't start on Tuesday and it's charging at 14.4, I'm going to go ahead and clean that contact. One of the reasons for starting it is it's on this side over here. And I'm off the dirt here because I've learned if I park all the way over, people can get in and out relatively easily. And she would run over stuff like that, which she still does. But anyhow, so yeah, I'm going to clean that contact. I got a new relay, but as you remember, on Monday I changed all the injectors. Still couldn't start. These batteries are 5 years old, but they're not exactly heavy use batteries. So my thought process was that the starter wasn't spinning fast enough, and it wasn't it was drawing too much voltage, wearing the batteries out sooner. So I don't know. I'm very frustrated, but I got to get some propane, so we'll use this for that. Yeah. So this is the power connector. It is turned off. The bolt's a little hard to get to because you can't get to it from the top, and you can't really get to it because of this is in the way. So we got this articulated wrench here going, but it is actually coming off now. So we're gonna go ahead and clean it up with some sandpaper and put it back on. Yes, I did debate taking these up, but then I'd be held up by the cable. So it's actually easier to undo the cable when it's on the engine, and I'm not gonna move the engine. I'm just gonna move the nut versus the opposite. I don't know about this one. I may just let that one go. Maybe I'll see if I can tighten it. It's a little crusty too. Enhance, but you see the green goo, the rust. They're open. It's our first time coming. Because that's 2-story. Parking lot's a little bit smaller than I expected. Somebody's looking forward to going in. Are you go into Hartville Hardware? You like that? Yeah, she does. Well, let's see how much money we can not spend. All the Yeti colors. You know, there were so many Yeti colors. That's a lot of Yeti. Look, a dog bowl. Nice. And the green. I really kind of like the green. Yes. Number 3 square. Look at that. It's got laser tips. Enhance. Nice. Man, boy. Just screwdrivers. Just Milwaukee screwdrivers. On these. And maybe get that one. But what in the... Why? What? In fact, I like these. I've never seen that one before. That's a nice one. Really? All the tools? Look at these bad boys. Jesus. Cleaning the motor off these. That one's pretty clean, and I think that's going to be the bottom one. This one's got a lot of motor. It's almost solid motor. So it's got a little patch over here. I think I'm going to leave that alone for now. But I definitely got to hit this. This is going to take a few minutes. Fortunately, the motor's just crumbly. Unfortunately, sometimes it sticks, like that one. I think sandblasting, ironically, on sandstone would be the right thing to do. We're going to get to this. Didn't think it was going to be that closer. So I replaced this piece, cleaned out these orifices. Imagine that one's going to be full too. Put this copper brass nozzle piece on. It's a hose fitting. Lost the nut that fits on here. I think it's in the basement. I need to put that back on there, though this pretty much holds it on there. Moving on to this problem where this was hanging out and cracked. Finally got these things off there. They used there was a spring in there, and then a crimp, metal, aluminum, and then plastic. Those are a pain in the butt. Obviously, I don't want to, mess those up. For fuck's sake. Okay, so this one's hot. This one's ground. The return goes there. So I think I'm going to just pull this out, and hopefully I can cut that off a little better and slide it back in. Not quite sure. I think that the switch needs to be mounted to here because obviously it needs to move here, and that's not very flexible. But this piece distance will never change. So I think that's what we'll end up doing. But first I got to get this nailed in, and then figure out there's holes in the back here. I just put a self-tapping screw or two in there. Bam. So I'll probably end up opening that up too. Okay, well, I spent the last day or so working on this. I fixed, this was broken before. I shortened it. I mounted it to here because no matter where I move this up and down or move that pivot, the switch is always going to be there. Replace that fitting. This is working perfectly as I thought it would. I just kind of jammed this in there, and I was fearful that these would be clogged up because these were clogged up, but they weren't, obviously, because it's dripping. So we're gonna turn that off and finish breakfast, and then come try to cut. Oh, I made these 45s. We'll see how those work out. See one problem. Can't really go any further. Didn't expect that problem. I was focused on this depth. Completely forgot about that. Well, this jig might work. It's gonna need some more work to work. I gotta somehow attach it so this thing doesn't float. But frankly, once it starts cutting, as long as it stays on track, it's good. And I kind of like the way I have this jammed in the corner here. It doesn't have to be precise. It just needs to be accurate. I guess that's precise. I don't know. So we're gonna fire up the water and give it another go. But yeah, it's kind of great. Look at my technique, but it worked. Definitely got it. So the problem is, once I made the cut, it wanted to flip back over, as I expected. One thought, which is just crazy mean, is if there's holes here appropriately, I would just, like right here, just drive a screw and a nut or something through there. In fact, I may just do that. That should be sufficient. And countersink it up here. But yeah, that worked. Fashion procrastination, we're at a estate sale. Kind of a hoarder thing, but this upstairs is really nice. Got a fake fireplace, even a little bathroom up here. It's like a luxury. I haven't quite figured out. I think they were a teacher, but there's some serious hoarding going on. Like, you walk up, and I've never seen an estate sale that looks like it's a garage sale outside. There's just boxes of shit and canisters. Smells funny up here. Taking a hike out here in the woods, and there's multiple paths here, but I know which way to go because it's literally marked trail. So I want to go that way, I guess. So we're gonna go that way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure what I'm seeing along here, these big trees, is a tree row, like where the end of the field. See how small the trees are over there? And then there's a bunch of rocks. So I think this was farmed probably 50, 60 years ago or longer. And this was the boundary line. Good for putting up fences, having trees on a line. And you see all the rocks here. More rocks. Kind of thinking I should, save the rocks. That's a big one right there. Well, I don't know where we're going. They seem to know where they're going. Away from me. I went garage estate sailing today. Today's Sunday, and Sunday's a good day because everything's like 50 to 75% off. So I got this, which I thought was kind of boring at first, but then I realized there's fishies in there. So it's kind of cool with the fishies. I guess these are like leaves, seaweed. Then I got this. This is one of those where they take those are little tiny pieces of glass all formed together. It needs to be washed, but I thought it was kind of cool. It's just a little guy. Batman book. This is only $2. I'm pretty sure I don't have this one. And Boy, they gave me a lot of raft of shit on this one. These fit. These are Eco shoes. I don't know if they're leather or what they are. And I told them I didn't care about these, but they didn't want to take them back. They kept claiming they're like $120 shoes. I don't know. They feel comfortable. I need a new comfortable pair of shoes for work. I hope I didn't have this one. I don't think I have this one. I know I don't have this one, Stanley Clark. It's some good jazz. Jean-Luc Ponty. And I think he's a drummer, not sure. We seem to be low on these. Like, we have the big ones, we have the medium ones, we don't have the small ones. It's good for sandwiches. Some glue, which is not actually solid, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I spent, I think it was $15. $15 the first place, and then $10 the second place. So, some teak oil, good for, you know. I should probably oil that thing up right there. Then I got this microplaner. A lot of the recipes for the meals that I make that come in a bag require lemon, and this might be easier. I don't know. I didn't pay that, but give it a go. Little scissors that I think once I clean up will be good for trimming outside. Again, it's like 50 cents. This, I have one, but the last time I used it, it didn't work very well. Basically, when you hit it with a hammer, it turns. So it's like an impact, and you put a little socket on there, typically screws. So the harder you hit it, the harder it pushes in, the harder it turns. But mine is acting stupid. This one is a Craftsman. It's a little rusty, but that'll clean up. Then I realized on my vehicles, I don't really have good toolkits. Sometimes I find myself at the side of the road. Now, these I bought just so I have some spares. So I started grabbing these. I saw these like in a bin, and thought to myself, well, 13 millimeter, half that freaking truck's 13 millimeter. Then I saw 16, I'm like, well, that's what the suspension is. Then I saw a 10, and like, there's the other half. And then I saw a 12, that's used a lot. And then I saw these 9 and 11, which I'll probably never use, but I grabbed those so I'd have the set. So I got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 16. So I have some metal circle clips like that you can snap together, which I'm going to use. This I just threw in there. It's kind of fun. It's a Ford Sun, which is the name of Ford's tractors. And that must not be metric, but it's kind of cool. Added to my 4 wrenches. So, yeah, it was a decent haul. I went to Akron. Ironically, one of the places I didn't buy anything on, their prices were a little high. And it was weird kitchen stuff, like industrial kitchen stuff, like huge mixers and some really old-fashioned craft-made mixers that I'd never seen before. I drained the fuel out of it, and she's eating the rubber line. She's taking all the wiring out. She's just having so much fun over there. There's a mouse nest underneath that cover that she will eventually find. Anyhow, so that's what I did instead of doing the other stuff. So yeah, I realized that there's going to be some cuts. So I'm going to have some cuts like this, 45 degree, so I could do, you know, a corner. Well, that doesn't describe the corner very well. But also I'm going to have some cuts where I need to cut like a 45 here and a 45 here, because it's not, you know, like over here I'm doing a 10-inch wall, so this could be one side, but then I'm going to need 10 inches here. Anyhow, long story short, what I can do in those cases is cut it to length and then cut it to the angle. And I'm going to have to make this so this bracket comes on and off, because obviously if I'm trying to cut here, I got to be over here, and not where that bracket's going to be. I did notice these holes. I may drill another hole and maybe like do like a peg pin kind of thing, so this fits down in a pin. It just kind of pops in there. I don't know. Gotta think on it a little bit. But this week, my goal, it's not supposed to rain till Thursday, is to epoxy these in. I gotta figure out which sides I like on this one here. This is a nice smooth side. This is a decent side. This one's not that bad, but that's kind of goofy. So maybe put the goofy sides in. And I got to figure out what I want to do there. Then some of these are even worse, or like this one has a 2x4 embedded in it right here. So maybe I don't want that one on the outside. And ironically, these are the first two that I moved over here in power wash. Those are looking a lot better as far as getting rid of the paint. Like I can live with that. And if I ever get bored, I can clean that up. And that's just moss. There's very little paint on there. Whereas these, which I started on first, look pretty abused. So a little more cleanup. Figure out the sides. I got to mark the sides carefully. Carefully meaning I don't want to like take spray paint on there. And put them in a location and drill these. Also got to get some tarps because I don't want this. What am I saying? I need to let them dry out and then epoxy the things in. I don't want them to be wet when I epoxy it. I don't think it matters. I don't know. Maybe it does. It'd just be easier. So I may need to get a tarp or two. But yeah. What is she? Now what are you doing? She's just all over that thing.